in southern Mississippi, the Magnolia State. I'm riding the Natchez Trace Parkway. Route 66 is the mother road, then the Natchez Trace is the granddaddy of them all. The Natchez Trace Parkway is a national park that's about 440 miles long. It goes from Natchez, Mississippi, all the way to Nashville, Tennessee. It's just ideal for bicycling. It is a 2-lane recreational road. It has no commercial traffic at all. There are no billboards, there's no stop signs, and it's just a pleasant country drive. Back in the 17 and 1800s, the Natchez Trace was traveled by the likes of Daniel Boone, Meriwether Lewis, Native Americans, and any other pioneers that happened to travel this way. On this trip, I'll be riding my bicycle from Natchez, Mississippi to Nashville, Tennessee. I plan on taking about 7 days to ride the entire parkway. So my lovely wife Sharon took me to Natchez, Mississippi to start the journey. She'll be supporting me on this ride. We spent the day yesterday just kicking around in Natchez, checking out the sights. 300 years of history, there's a lot to see in Natchez. It's kind of a credit card tour, living in style, going from one hotel to another. Good morning. It is Thursday, May the 30th, 2019. Last night I stayed in Natchez, and today I'm headed for Port Gibson. It'll be a relatively short day, about 45 miles or so. Just thought I'd get an easy start, first tour of the summer, just ease into it. Right now I'm sitting in front of a grave site that dates back to the 1850s. The old trace is not far from here. Weather report for this week is hot. 30% chance afternoon storms, but no tornadoes. That's good. String of tornadoes in the Midwest these days, but not down here in southern Mississippi. But I'm just sitting here taking a break at Coles Creek. Today I went past the Emerald Mounds, the second largest Indian mounds in the Mississippi culture. Second only to the Cahokia Mounds, just south of St. Louis. There's a nice wind out of the southwest pushing me along, so that's a good deal. There's been some pretty severe flooding along the Mississippi River this spring. The river's way up. So as a result, most of southern Mississippi's been underwater. Wow, are the bugs bad. Alright, it's Friday, May 31st, and this is day 2. Started this morning in Port Gibson, stayed at the Isabella Bed and Breakfast, had a nice breakfast this morning, headed for Jackson, be about 60 miles or so. Sitting at the Owens Creek waterfall, not much of a waterfall, just more of a trickler really. Bugs are bad, not as bad as they were yesterday, but still they're pretty bad. I'm hoping as I get further away from the Mississippi River, fewer and fewer gnats. Got a chance to walk on the actual Natchez Trace, what they call the Sunken Trace. There's lots of places that you can go and walk on the old trace if you want to for miles and miles. Just had a chance to step on it. Went past the Mangum Mounds, another Indian site. But it's a nice day on the Natchez Trace. Moving down the road. Still day 2, just south of Jackson right now. A little place called Raymond. Just north of Rocky Springs is the lower Choctaw boundary. Went past the Dean Stand site, and now I'm at the Battle of Raymond. Got about 25 miles to go to Jackson. Reminds me of a Johnny Cash song. Most of the time on the parkway, there's very little traffic, but as you approach the larger cities like Jackson and Tupelo, the traffic can get nutty. You're riding down this 2-lane country road for miles and miles and miles with hardly any traffic, and then all of a sudden at once, at 5 o'clock on Friday afternoon, everybody and their brothers out on the road. The Natchez Trace Parkway turned into a raceway, left me feeling uncomfortable. It is Saturday morning, June 1st. This is day 3. But I got a good early morning start today. I'm on my way to French Camp. Today's going to be kind of a long day, about 80 miles, kind of a butt buster. Right now I'm sitting at the Ross Barnett Reservoir, just north of Jackson, part of the Pearl River. Apparently they're having a triathlon this morning. I'm following the same route that the running and biking portion takes, not the swimming portion though. That's in the reservoir. But anyway, I just missed out on the triathlon. Good job. I got a long way to go, so gotta head on down the road. Went past cypress swamps, really cool old cypress trees. Cypress trees have aerial roots or cypress knees. The knees are above the water line, so the tree doesn't drown. Any other tree would get smothered. Went past the upper Choctaw boundary. There's a line of trees that were planted a long time ago to mark the boundary. I guess that's how they did it in the old days. Still got a little ways to go to French Camp though. Gotta be trucking down the parkway. Yesterday I took a day off at French Camp. We goofed around in the old village looking at old buildings. We stayed at the bed and breakfast there at French Camp. For lunch we went down to Kosciuszko, a little town south of French Camp. Had some soul food at Frenchie's. Highly recommended. Tell you, Frenchie knows how to cook. There's a lot of history along the trace. The Natchez Trace started off as a game trail, probably bison migrating, taking the easiest route they could find. When the Native Americans moved in, they followed these same trails, so they became Indian trails. 1539, Hernando de Soto was the first European explorer to come into this area. When white folks moved in, they turned it into a wilderness road. By the 1790s, early pioneers called cane tucks would load their goods up on boats near Nashville on the Cumberland River. They'd float their goods down the river. When they got to Natchez or New Orleans, they would sell all their goods and the boat too. So they'd have a season's worth of money, and then they'd have to make it back to Nashville somehow, either by foot or by horse. Well, of course, there were bandits along the way, so they probably traveled in packs for safety. It was a long walk home, so along the way, they would stay at stands. A stand is like the old-timey version of a truck stop. They'd walk all day, and they'd come to a stand, and they'd get a bed, and a meal, and a bath, and who knows what else. And the next day, they'd be on their way, safe and sound. Around 1811, the first steamboat made its way up the Mississippi River. This put an end to the cane tuck boatman era. The boatmen no longer had to walk home. They could just take a steamboat, which was a lot safer and a lot quicker. By the 1820s, 1830s, the Natchez Trace really wasn't a thing anymore. Parts of the original Natchez Trace are reclaimed by the forest, but there are still some original sections of the Natchez Trace that you can walk on. The idea of building a parkway along the Natchez Trace started in the 1930s with the DAR, Daughters of the American Revolution, and in 1937, a senator from Mississippi named Jeff Busby proposed the idea. Got the funding and got the parkway built. So way to go, Jeff Busby. Hail, Jeff Busby. So the parkway was started in the 1930s, but it wasn't really finished until 2005 when the last sections were finally completed from Natchez all the way to Nashville, Tennessee. Good Monday morning. It's June 3rd. Still traveling north while most people are getting up and going to work on Monday morning. I'm on day 4 of my Natchez Trace Parkway adventure. Now I'm headed for Tupelo, Mississippi, hometown of rock and roll royalty, Elvis Presley. Hey, the maintenance crew's been working hard out here, keeping the area looking nice, picking up garbage, mowing the grass, cleaning up the dead trees that are close to the road that could fall in the roadway. Nice. Anyway, Parkway. I'm tooling along, stopped at a little place called Ballard Creek. Passed by Jeff Busby, rode past the Bynum Mounds, another important Native American site, just south of Witch Dance and the Tom Bigby National Forest. I rode past an area today that had been devastated by storms about 10-15 years ago, and it's still recovering now, but you can see the forest's been damaged. Staying in Tupelo, Mississippi. Hey, Burger, can you spell Mississippi with one I? Mississippi. It's Wednesday, June 5th, and this is day 5. I left Tupelo this morning, bright and early. Thought I saw Elvis getting coffee at the Gas and Go. Anyway, spent yesterday checking out all the Elvis sites. Elvis birthplace, Elvis bought his first guitar, all kinds of Elvis stuff. Went to Johnny's Drive-In. That's where Elvis used to hang out. Had a milkshake and a burger. Passed by the old Confederate gravesite yesterday. The place was so cool, almost made my hair stand up. Went past the Far Mounds, another important Indian site. Crossing the Ten-Tom Waterway on the Jamie L. Whitten Bridge, Tennessee River and the Tom Bigby. Ten-Tom. Going through Tishomingo State Park. Is this the road to Tishomingo? I'm going to stop tonight at Culbert's Ferry, Alabama. I'm over halfway to Nashville. It's Thursday, June 6th. I'm in Alabama now. The Natchez Trace Parkway clips the northwest corner of Alabama. Comes within about 16 miles of Muscle Shoals, a famous place where they recorded a lot of music. Stopped yesterday at Culbert's Ferry. I'm headed for Meriwether Lewis today, and one more day and I'll be in Nashville. I just crossed into Tennessee from Alabama. Watching the weather report. It's about to take a turn for the worse. It's supposed to be 70% chance of rain for the next 5 days straight. I got 2 days left, and I'm just gonna ride. If I get wet, I get wet. I'm ready for it. I've got all my gear packed in plastic, so I'm not worried about it. I got my raincoat, the skin's waterproof, and just ride. And one nice thing is that it'll keep things cool, and I won't get dehydrated. I got my blinking red light and my high-vis raincoat. Can you see me now? As long as I don't get hit by a car, I'll be fine. Struck by lightning. Yeah. They're calling for rain, so I gotta get headed down the road. See you later when I'm probably wet. There's really no services along the trace, so there's no stores to stop at. There's very few shelters, so when it starts raining, shelter is hard to find. But I found some shelter right here. Not too bad. Yeah, it's just raining a little bit. It's not raining too bad though. Right in the rain. It's not as heavy as I thought it would be. It's just a slow, steady summer rain. It actually feels kind of nice. I think nature decided I was going to finish the Natchez Trace wet. It's all part of it. It's kind of like doing a triathlon, but I'm doing the biking and the swimming portion at the same time. But I'm just sitting here at a little shelter at the old Trace Drive. I went by the gravesite of Meriwether Lewis, famous explorer on the Lewis and Clark expedition in 1804 and 1805. Well, he was traveling along the Natchez Trace in 1809, but he met his untimely death. The cause of death is still unknown. They're not sure how he died. But anyways, they buried him here, and you can come visit him anytime you want. This is Friday, it's June the 7th. This is day 7 on the Natchez Trace Parkway. And as you can see, it's not a sunny day. It's kind of cloudy, it's kind of raining. Looks like we're going to finish up this ride wet. But it's my last day of riding, so here we go. Yeah, right on cue. Here comes the rain. It's alright. Last day, day 7. Trucking on down the Parkway. Fall Hollow is a must-see on the Natchez Trace. Lots of waterfalls. Since it's a rainy day, the waterfalls are in peak performance. Right now I'm sitting in a tobacco barn. Headed up to Nashville today. It'll be about a 50-mile day. This will be my last day on the Parkway. Getting a wet start to the day, that's for sure. Went to a place called Metal Fort, where they did a lot of iron mining back in the 1800s. Quite the operation. Saw a phosphate mine scattered throughout the Natchez Trace area and the limestone cliffs they mined for phosphate. I think Baker Bluff has one of the nicest views on the Natchez Trace.
You traveling on your bike?
That's the Gordon House. This is Duck River. Gordon's ran a ferry service across the Duck River. This Birdsong Hollow on the Natchez Trace. That's the double arch bridge behind me. It's like a 440-mile long national park, just begging to be ridden by bicycle. I love the Natchez Trace Parkway. It's one of the greatest places to bicycle ride. Well, that's the Natchez Trace Parkway. Turned out to be a nice day. A little bit of rain, kept the heat down. Now I'm on my way home. First, I'm gonna go put some dry clothes on. I'll load the bike into the car, I go get something to eat, drive home to Illinois, and then I'm gonna sleep in my own bed tonight. The journey down the Natchez Trace is like a journey through history. From Natchez all the way to Nashville. There's Native American history, African American history, pre-colonial, Revolutionary War, Civil War history. It's got it all. You can walk where Daniel Boone walked, Meriwether Lewis, Jim Bowie. You're not into history? Natchez Trace Parkway is beautiful scenery. Come for the scenery, stay for the history. Natchez Trace has music. From the Delta Blues to Elvis, all the way on up to Nashville and the modern country scene. Maybe you don't like history. Maybe you don't like scenery. Maybe you don't like music. This area has some of the best southern cooking you've ever eaten. Come ride the Natchez Trace Parkway.